Eve says she hasn't seen you in months, and that you're avoiding her?
I'm not avoiding her, just with Oliver and my new training routine, I've been busy.
Uh-huh. Obviously, you two have had the hots for each other since, like, forever? Just stop being weird about it. Ask her out.
Why do we avoid and get weird around the person that we like? We might be cool as a cucumber around everyone else, but once we develop feelings for someone, a lot of times that's when we want to stay away from them, or we do these weird behaviors, or see them and walk the other way, which is completely counterintuitive to starting a relationship. Today we will be working on some dating do's and don'ts. A lot of people have been asking about this for a long time. So let's go into some dating tips and tricks to truly make you. Well, often the reason is that we are so terrified of getting rejected, saying something dumb, doing something ridiculous, and being judged by them and actually ruining our chances. And what happens is that when we like someone, now the stakes are higher. If we do that awkward thing or we get inside of our head, we often become more nervous. And when we become really nervous around someone, especially when we like them, that can be enhanced. What happens is the part of our brain that processes cognition, thinking through and strategizing, becomes frazzled. So we might mumble more, or we might become inside of our head where we are now doing that analyzing of our own behavior real time. And the problem with that is that if you're analyzing your behavior real time, you're not in the moment. And if you're in your head, you're not listening to what the other person says. So then it does increase the chances that you're gonna say something or do something ridiculous that you wished you hadn't. Or even worse, you'll be absolutely fine, but overthink it and think that you weren't, and then the next time you don't want to engage with that person. So what you want to do is you want to take a breath, be yourself, do the best that you can, and then just go through with it. You don't want to avoid someone, because the more that you avoid it, the more that you want to avoid it, and then you're like, it wasn't weird before, but now it really is. And if you're really worried, strategize and go in with a subject or question in mind to be able to ask them. That kind of opens the door, and the questions that you'd want to ask them are not yes and no, but ones that are open-ended, something that will give them a chance to respond, and hopefully about something that they're interested in.
It's more complicated than that.
Oh, it's really not. It's 6 words. Hey, wanna go out sometime? Please? Actually, no, don't say please. Sounds desperate.
In this case, I think Rex is absolutely right. I would not say please at the end of it. It does seem kind of icky in the way that it is too needy, and you don't want to come off looking like this is something that you are desperate for. That right away puts you at a disadvantage in the dating hierarchy. You want to be able to come forward feeling confident and relaxed, even if you're not.
Remember when I was trapped in that dimension with Angstrom and that other Eve showed up to save me? I didn't tell you guys everything she said.
So, the other Eve said she always loved you, and that you needed to either love her back or let her go because you were ruining her life?
Pretty much. Should I tell her about the other her? If I ask Eve out, I want to be honest with her from the start. Not like I was with Amber.
There's a big difference between being honest and being too honest.
So the problem with this is twofold. I agree with Mark. Starting this out on a lie, you're already starting out a relationship that could fail. But the second part is that once you have shared a secret with 2 other people that you are all friends with, the chance of this getting out, if you do not share it, becomes great. So right away when Mark shared this story, it was already too late. And her finding out later will make her distrust you. And then she's going to be going through in her head of, every time, is there something more to this story? And why wouldn't you tell me? If you didn't find that this was nefarious or weird what happened with Eve, why didn't you let me know? When you tell a secret to someone else, it's no longer a secret. So really, Mark has no option. It could sink the entire relationship with someone that he really cares about if he doesn't say anything to Eve from the start. When you start off a relationship, if you share all of the icks beforehand, then when someone starts the relationship, they're already going in knowing all the cards that are at hand, and they've already agreed to them. And so for Mark, it would be a great idea for him to delicately and carefully, but honestly share what happened and what started. And I understand that he wants to have advice, but the thing is that it was no longer a secret, so his decision was made for him.
Okay. Just tell her how you feel. Easy. Oh, God, how am I more nervous about this than fighting aliens?
Because one is that his ego is on the line, that fear of rejection, that anticipatory anxiety, that is the anxiety of something that could happen in the future. And it's funny that for many of us, being physically hurt is not as bad as being emotionally hurt. And especially for someone that's invincible, that is the main thing, that they feel strong and that punches don't really bother them. But that doesn't mean that Mark is invincible on the inside where his emotions are and he can be emotionally crushed. And for many of us, especially those of us that put on this huge bravado, it is to protect the inside that's all soft. But I do like that he's giving himself this pep talk. He's walking through things, and then Mark is hyping himself up and trying to be positive. The problem is that sometimes you can get into a spin where you just get stuck there and you don't take those steps. And you want to take those steps even though they're a risk. Because the only way that you learn that that risk, even if it's rejection, will not destroy you is by doing it.
Are you gonna hover out there all day talking to yourself or come in?
Just really cute, you know, you're dealing with another superhero, they know that you're there. It's funny.
I've been thinking about this a lot, and I want to see if we, meaning you and me, if we could work together, but like as people, not work.
Are you asking me out?
Yeah. I'm just doing a terrible job at it.
That actually was not a terrible job. I think that he did a good job, maybe not saying the work, but just directly saying, I enjoy your company and I'd like to see if we can get closer with each other. Sometimes the most direct and straightforward route is the best route. So I think that he starts off on the right foot.
Sure. Let's try.
Really?
I mean, it makes sense, right? We're both superheroes. We know what comes with the territory. We've already been through a bunch of life or death situations together, so let's try and see what happens.
That's great. Oh man, I just didn't want to leave you hanging anymore.
No, there we go. Don't do that. Do not do that. And especially to someone like Eve. Eve, who has already been abandoned, who has difficult relationships and doesn't want to be looked down on. This right away makes it sound like he's dating her out of pity. He doesn't mean it, but you do want to be a little careful with the words that you choose, because no one wants to feel like the second choice or someone's doing this as a gift or as an obligation to someone else. For someone with Eve's personality type that is more avoidant and wants to look strong and does not want anyone's pity, this would be a immediate no thank you.
What? Leave me hanging? You asked me out.
No, I meant, remember that other you I told you about?
Yeah?
She said she always loved me, and
please, do not bring up another girl in this way, even if it's another you, because now it starts muddying the waters of your feelings and why someone else is involved. You want to feel that the relationship and the link that you have between two people is between each other. It would be fair for him to be honest of what happened, but always make it towards the person that you are talking to. I saw this other Eve and I realized how I feel about you. This was my reflection of, I don't want to make this mistake and lose you. And everything I thought about was directed towards you. So that they are clear, there is a delineation about your feelings and that it's not mixed and you're not on a rebound. And this is not because you are trying to relive a moment that you had with someone else.
not knowing if I loved her back was killing her, so she told me I should either ask you out or shut it down forever.
Wait, sorry.
And then I don't like the way that he explained it. It's fair and it's honest, and I understand that Mark is nervous at this time, and so the part of his mind, the prefrontal cortex, is fried at this moment, so he's just now giving a word salad. But that's where, if he had researched this or written it down or thought about what he said, he would have spoken more clearly, especially when it's something that you're not sure how the other person is going to take it. You want to be able to script this out, think it through, if often you get flustered when you speak. Because this now sounds like he's doing this because someone else felt bad. And so it almost feels like you're doing this because you felt guilty and you're trying to rescue and save me. And that is the last thing that Eve would ever want. This is another reason that she's going to be no thank you, hard pass.
So you're only asking me out now because the other me, who is not me, told you how miserable she was?
That's not it.
Did you have feelings for me before you met her?
Eve, I mean, of course.
Or are you only here because you feel sorry for me?
Oh, God, no. That's not what I meant.
She knows that she really is lonely and is not happy right now. That the past her was miserable for a certain period of her life. And so she's thinking that the only reason that he's doing this is out of feeling guilt or because she's sad and he doesn't want her to be sad.
Cecil, please. Not now. What do you mean? Just Eve and I? Eve, there's a problem.
This better be cataclysmic.
I also like that for Eve, her first reaction is anger. It's an active emotion. She's upset. That's actually good because that means that there are emotions involved, that she cares. She cares enough to be angry. When you really have to be worried in a relationship is when someone feels nothing at all. That's when you know there's no hope here. If you're looking to expand your mind and your knowledge base, then look no further in the many courses offered to make yourself learn, enhance, grow with Brilliant.org's ever-expanding set of new courses. Brilliant makes college-level courses to help you stay invincible in this hectic world. Each course is designed for high-velocity learning to help you stay focused and reach your goals, so you don't end up being the last one to the battle. And Brilliant.org makes learning like a game with fun features that let you challenge yourself, compete with others, so it never gets boring. And also, we know that when learning is fun and engaging, it makes knowledge stick better, so you remember more easily and quickly. And Brilliant has thousands of courses, from math, chemistry, physics, engineering, computer science, and many more. And new courses are being added monthly. So far, I've done their courses on algebra, logic, geometry, and I found all of them really engaging. And when I practice a skill, I just do it for 15 minutes a day. That's all you need. And no one can tell me that they don't have 15 minutes a day to expand their mind. And I really like the fact that these are the courses that you can chop up into smaller parts. If you feel stressed or it's going difficultly, you can just cut it down to make it more easily. And it's interactive, so you can actually see the concepts that you're learning. Especially helpful for me because I'm a visual learner, so that's the way that I learn best. And you're still not sure? Just try everything that Brilliant has to offer for free. And no, they don't just offer it for free for a week. You get to try it for a full 30 days. So just head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Yes, use my link, please. Or click on the link in the description because that does help my channel. Just trying it out for free helps, so thank you. And if you want more, which I'm sure you will, you can get 20% off of an annual premium subscription. So just click on that button on the screen or head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really helps me out, so thank you to you and Brilliant for sponsoring this video. So you can let me know how you would have handled this situation to not make the same mistakes that Mark did, but still being honest enough so that Eve would know that there's another Eve and that won't be something that makes her question him and the authenticity of his feelings for her. So hopefully you enjoyed this video on some dating do's and don'ts that will hopefully help out your dating life. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.